Well, hello internets, here we are. A little bit of a evening update. Well, got all the groceries put away. Just in the process of doing a little bit of housework or trailer work or whatever you want to call it kind of work. Putting things away, straightening things up, tidying things up a bit. Sometimes things don't get put back where they belong, and with the trailer bouncing down the road, sometimes things get jostled around. So the plates and cups and stuff get jostled around, and they need to be put back. And I'm not sure if there's a way to keep them in place so they don't bounce around. I'm not worried about them breaking. They're them plasticky kind of plates that are, pretty stout. But if they were glass, I'd be worried about them breaking. But it's all good. The closet is fine. The cleaner sometimes tips over, but they don't leak. And the extra bunk bed is where I store my tubs of stuff. Now, maybe I should go through my cupboards and sort out the junk cupboard. I really don't need a junk cupboard. Like, up there is some markers and some doodle pads, which, I don't know. I really don't find the need to be drawing or doodling when I'm on holidays, but any notes I need to take, I take with my phone nowadays, and any reminders I take with my phone, things like that, right? I have a 15 amp, like 50-foot extension cord. I got that around because just in case I pull into a stall that's not wired for 30 amp, I can plug in the 15 amp cord and, well, it'll be fine. Or, as an example, last summer when I was down here, the campsite that my mom was in next to me, there was somebody plugged into her power when we pulled in, and rather than making a fuss and making them move and unplug their trailer, we just plugged her trailer in with this trailer, because this trailer has a external plug-in, and everything was fine. So there's some things that I have with me that I don't need, but when I do need them, they're nice to have. And 2 bottles of Lysol wipes might be a little excessive, but when they're 2 for $1, you pick up 2, right? And same with groceries. When bread is 2 for $6, then you pick up 2 loaves, so then it fills your fridge. And just I have 2 lawn chairs for reasons of company, or if there was another person with me, they'd have a place to sit, where it's just me, where that extra lawn chair is in the way, and I have to move it every time I go to take out the table, things like that, and then put it all back. And I'm sure if I went through my cupboards and sorted things out, and I could probably cut down on half of what I have. I have 4 plates, 4 bowls, 4 cups. And if it's just going to be me, then I don't need 4 of everything, maybe 2 of, and that would be plenty, because then you would do dishes every night, or do dishes every second night, or so. Depends on your eating habits, right? Which, on this trip, my eating habits haven't been a lot, because I'll sometimes have cereal or maybe a muffin in the morning. Depends on how I'm feeling. Breakfast is a little bit of a touchy subject with me, especially too early. Eating too early in the morning, and at night I like to have something warm, whether it's Smokies or maybe a couple of warmed up sandwiches or so. I haven't bought popcorn yet, but that craving is coming. It's kind of this trailer and you think this is all that I wanted in my cargo trailer. This is all that I needed, you know, the bed, the fridge, the stovetop. In fact, the cargo trailer wasn't even going to have stovetop or furnace or nothing. It was just going to be a bare bones trailer, and I cook outside, which I cook outside anyway with this thing. So technically I'm hauling around two forms of fuel, like two propane, one 20 pound tank and one 1 pound tank system, so that adds extra weight and hassle. And you know, same with the Coleman cook stove. I cook outside, so I got the barbecue and the Coleman cook stove, so the inside appliances really don't get used much still. And when I boil water, I boil it outside on the Coleman stove, or if I'm in an area, we'll say like Walmart parking lot, where you're trying to be a little more inconspicuous, like you're camping there, then I boil it inside. But I have boiled it inside with the door open, and they say you're not supposed to, but I do. But we'll have to see what the future holds and how things work out. You know, this trailer, like I said in the beginning of this here series, wasn't mine. I was borrowing it from somebody else, and it was bought from my neighbor at one time, and it was sort of gonna be mine, but then things changed, and you know, I had to kind of thin down on a few things, and I still have access to it for now, but we don't know what the future holds, right? We may have to, they may have to liquidate some assets again. And if they liquidate assets, then this trailer will probably be one of the assets they let go, because, well, they really don't need it, right? And maybe if I'm in the right place at the right time, I can possibly buy it back somehow. Whether I trade for yard work or trade for other services, or maybe I can save together some money over the winter months by cutting off my cable and internet or something. You know, when you're paying $179 a month for cable and internet, and if you let that go for a year, you know, that's a pretty substantial down payment on a trailer, especially one that's 20 years old. It may not be this one that I end up with. It might be another 20-year-old trailer that is, you know, $4,000 or $5,000. But I have been looking on this journey at trailers about the same size, and some of them are still $12,000. I found a couple that were very close, similar-wise, looking on the outside anyway, to this one here, and one was $12,000 and one was $8,500. So realistically speaking, this one here would probably be somewhere around $8,500 to $10,000 a well, you know. The Jayco name does carry a bit of weight, and a lot of people still think Jayco trailers are good, even though there's other brands out there now. But there's no point in stressing about the future, wondering how things are going to go, or what things are. And you know, maybe I'll end up picking up another cargo trailer for $4,000 or $5,000 again, and doing it all over again. This time I can buy a smaller trailer instead of buying one that is 7 by 14 by what was it, 7 foot inside. You know, I can buy one that's 6 foot inside, and I really like the tandem axle, so maybe, you know, 7 by 12 or back to 7 by 14, depends, right? that's just my own preference on the tandem axle thing. But pretty much, guys, just sitting here in the chair, relaxing for the evening. Pretty much, look, you can kind of tell, beautiful day. You got birds singing in the background, trees around us. This campground is very, very quiet, being in the week. There's not a lot of other campers here. Probably relax for a little bit, go back inside, finish my straighten up, clean up, stuff like that, and round we go. Oh well, hello internets, here we are. Oh, we've had ourselves a beautiful evening. I made myself that ham and cheese sandwiches with the pickles that I bought from the grocery store, and boy was it sure ever good. Exactly what I needed and exactly hit the spot. It was a good lunch. I will have to see what tomorrow morning holds in terms of breakfast. I did bacon and eggs this morning, so I don't have any bacon out, so, you know, it probably would unthaw by morning, especially if I left it, you know, in the microwave or on the counter. It would unthaw for sure, but I'll probably just have cereal or a muffin and coffee, or I haven't had coffee for probably a couple days. Last time I had coffee, I think, was Lethbridge, and that's been 2 or 3 nights ago now, so I'm probably due for another one. Partly is because it's a little bit of a pain to dig the coffee maker out of the box and set it up and all that, and then tear it all back down and put it back in the box, so I kind of limit myself. And I was drinking way too much coffee at home. Sometimes I'd have 2 or 3 cups a day, and I guess that's a far cry from what I used to drink, especially when I worked down the end where Tim Hortons was. But at the same time, you know, if you can limit it, or limit something, you know, why not limit it a bit, right? And then it becomes kind of a treat more than a normal thing, right? And been drinking a lot of water on this trip, and using things like pop or orange juice or cranberry juice as a secondary, as a treat, more than a staple or a must. And I've been drinking a lot of water, you know, and well, that's good for you, or at least good for me anyway. So don't know what the plans are for tomorrow. I might go out to the Atlas coal mine, unless there's a hidden area that I didn't get to see. The general admission ticket doesn't really look like much. The guided tour looks like what you want to go on. So I'm not sure if I'll take the guided tour, or if I will just save that for another year. In a year or two, I'd like to come back. I'll be in a little better shape physically, and maybe I can go on the tour of Writing in Stone, and the tour of Dinosaur Provincial Park, and the tour of Atlas Coal Mine, and not feel that I'm keeping the group, slowing the group up, or not be at risk for twisting an ankle or blowing out a knee like I feel when I walk too much on my own, you know, which I've done a little bit, and I feel the pain coming, feel the pain in the back, feel the discomfort from overdoing it starting, and that's usually when I stop and let it all go away, and then start all over the next day. But pretty much it is what it is. At the end of another day, around we go. Got one more night here after tonight, so 2 more nights technically, and then back on the road. So I'm going to enjoy tonight, enjoy tomorrow night, and it'll be what it is. Remember, we do have a fan mail box for all your fan mail needs. The address is down below, as well as the links to the social media pages. They are down below as well. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.